Hey, I'm back, and today I have and I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce her last name, but I have with me Martha from Play to Win Season 2, who has one of the most powerful stories, I think, from the show, at least for me. She is from Poland originally. And Marta, so first of all, because I don't want to butcher your name and insult your Polish audience, because I'll get it wrong, I promise. Tell me your last name and how you pronounce it.
Hi, John. Thank you so much for inviting. So, ready? And it's Omachel. Omachel.
I totally would have butchered your name.
But so many people changed this last name, like almost everyone. So I'm not surprised.
Yeah. So you're originally from Poland. How long have you been in the United States now?
It's gonna be close to 20 years, like
20
18
years.
or so. I even stopped counting, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's so many years. Yeah.
Yes, your accent is still very powerful, though. So you must keep close ties with your Polish friends.
You know what? Yeah, I really keep up with Polish community. We stay in touch here. My husband is Polish. I speak to my kids Polish at home because I want them to also learn. So that's why probably.
Yeah. So on the show, when I first met you, we got to connect because we were both on day one alpha, so the second day one. And I remember you telling a story about how you got started in network marketing where you couldn't even speak English. And just to kind of introduce yourself to my crowd, I would love to hear that story again because number one, I have, because I've traveled so much, I have I think a deeper sense of respect for people who immigrate to the United States and the effort that they put in to really get after the American dream. And when I heard your story, I was just like, this is what I'm talking about. It's amazing to me. And so I just want you to share that with everybody else because it was so amazing.
Thank you. Oh, thank you so much. First of all, I would like to tell your audience how awesome you are. Because I had a chance to be around you on a reality show a little bit, and I had a chance to meet you and see how you are, how you react whenever, what you do before you have to speak or show up on the camera. I know all the details.
Yeah.
And getting back to the story, my story is really touchy for me because I really came to United States for a dream, for American dream. And I was a young girl. I wasn't even 20 years old. And I came here um, because I wanted to visit the city. I wanted to travel. I wanted to visit Chicago. And I want to be a traveler to see this beautiful country. And the reality was totally opposite. I ended up cleaning houses and cleaning toilets. And I have, there is nothing bad about cleaning position at all. I don't want to hurt anyone. But it was so many people weren't treating me nicely. They were treating me like trash, to be honest.
Right.
And that was hard, not only that cleaning part, which was hard as well. It's a hard work, but the way people treat you, they treat people worse somehow, and I really felt it. And I even remember the time when someone told me that I stole some kind of jewelry from the house. Of course I haven't. And of course, when you have a cleaning lady in a house, who will you blame when the jewelry is gone? Of course, they blamed me. And I really remember how it really touched my heart. And I was like, oh no, that's it. That's it. I gotta get out of here. I gotta look for some different opportunities. But it was challenging, John. No, barely English. I knew how to say good morning. Hi, my name is Marta. How are you? Basic.
Right.
What school is teaching? Basic. And I didn't have that belief. When you don't know English, you are in a different country. What else can you do besides cleaning?
Yeah.
And it took me a while, and yeah, that's how I started network marketing, and that's why I pushed with that so hard.
Yeah. Now, I did this with Eugene too, because I look at talking to people from other countries and immigrants as a privilege, as something that Americans should do more than we talk about the United States. So, and I won't make it political, but coming from an Eastern European country, are you concerned about what you see in the news today and some of the trajectory of some of the things happening in America? I mean, doesn't it seem like a regression back to what you left from?
Exactly. So to be honest, I try to avoid news because anytime I turn the TV on, it's horrible. I cannot sleep. I would be, afraid to be alone at home, for example, with kids. So I try to really avoid news and what's happening. But exactly, so many people live here in the United States, like immigrants who came for a better living, and things happen.
Yeah.
It's not as colorful as used to be.
Yeah. I definitely, so as I've traveled across the world, gotten a very real sense of what some of the political views actually end up meaning, and talking to the older generation who lived through it. And man, so I always, because travel's my thing, always try to tie it in when I talk to somebody who actually came to the country out of such a crazy background, and it's important that we understand that, because you guys have a bigger voice than what you think. Many Americans are, just to be honest, they're so spoiled they wouldn't even know.
And I understand that, because so many Americans, from my point of view, they have amazing country. They have amazing opportunities ready for them, basically on a plate, ready to take, great education if they want to grab. They know the language that they can operate around the whole globe. So for so many people, they don't even appreciate it because they don't know different way,
Right.
So for example, so many immigrants like me, we really had to struggle at the beginning to overcome so many challenges that are kind of that must be overcame, like even the language. As you hear, my English is will never be perfect, or and I didn't know any English, even the language barrier, even that. So you are lucky, English, fluent English, and everybody else, and also, that you live in this beautiful country. I love United States.
Yeah, it's the best country in the world for sure, at least in my opinion. So let me transition here a little bit. Here you are, you're a cleaning lady. Your grasp on English is very, basic at best. And you make this pivot, this transition to network marketing, which, having met you on the show and heard your success, is, I think, number one for your country would be absolutely, like, people probably can't even believe it, right? So tell me about the pivot, how that came about, and what that looked like for you.
So what would you like to hear? What's that question again?
Your pivot from being a cleaning lady to a network marketer.
Okay, so it was quite straightforward. Someone introduced me to network marketing, and since I was so tired and I really didn't like what I was doing, and I was so open for opportunities, I jumped in. But I started using some our products for quite a bit, and after that I was introduced to the, I was asked basically the question to grow the business. And of course, with no experience at all, I was so young, I was barely taken out of the school in Poland. I founded myself here in United States, and I didn't have much experience. And we really started growing very, very traditionally, like presentations, home presentations, and I really didn't believe in myself. Even doing that, I was a different person, completely different person. Like you would not believe, John. And so I really needed support, someone to hold my hand. And network marketing in any company is a profession when you have someone who is helping you to grow this business. You start from scratch in every field, right? In network marketing, and you've got someone. Either this is the person who's introducing you to the business, or someone higher, and there is someone to help you. And I really needed that since I had no experience at all. So I'm very, very grateful to the person who introduced me to the business. And because of that, someone taught me the right way. Now I'm passing on to other people what I have learned and how to work from home.
Yeah. Yeah. So now just talk about this, and we don't have to get into income, but the success that you've had with network marketing would put you really at an upper echelon of income in Poland, period, right?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. Like you, and even on the show, which you did not come off as this shy, timid kind of personality on the show. You were pretty ferocious.
Yeah.
Minus the snake, which we'll get into in a little bit. I thought you were, an absolute rock star. So I just loved hearing that you came from such, lowly beginnings to the successful person that I got to meet on the show. I mean, that is the American dream, and it's really powerful to hear that. And then you moved from Chicago. Now you're down in Florida, married. And how many kids do you have again?
We have 2 kids.
2 kids. Yeah. So, I mean, that's just a story that people really need to hear. If you can do it, anybody else can do it. And then look at what you've become. It's fabulous.
Thank you so much.
Where did you meet Ray at? How did you get involved with Rank Makers?
You know what? One friend introduced me to Rank Makers, and he said, "Oh my goodness, for $20 just per month, he's giving so much, like so much. You gotta join. You gotta see what's happening." I've been already in network marketing, growing, but very slowly with many challenges, like how to build it, what to do to make more money, to help more people. And I've been struggling with that profession as well. It's not like I was super successful at the beginning. And so I joined Rank Makers around 2 years ago. And after 3 months being on a group, kind of listening what's happening there, listening to Ray's Daily, I decided I'm gonna grab a coaching. They're coaching. And John, I don't know, I sound like from a different planet, but I never heard about other coaches. I've never even was thinking that I can hire a coach, and that can help me. And how would someone help me more, right? Or so like totally inexperienced with that as well. And I've talked to them, and they offered me coaching, and I'm like, you know what? Screw it, let's do it. and I decided, let's go fully into network marketing, and I'm gonna let them teach me. I'm gonna be bold, and I'm gonna be so open for knowledge. And this is what happened. So what I knew, I put it on the side, and I was like grabbing, like soaking for like 6 months or so. And after like a 6 months period, I noticed big changes in my income. My income started doubling, then tripling, then what's the word, quadrupling? I don't even know how to even say it, but it was growing. And I remember I was even texting Ray, oh my goodness, how to handle that, because I wasn't prepared for such a thing. Yeah. And I highly recommend grabbing a coach in network marketing, definitely. Coaches are there to tell you what to do, what not to do, and coaches are there to tell you stick to what you are doing and don't change a thing. Because what I was doing before, I was learning from many leaders, right, in our profession. But after a month or a month and a half, I was kind of getting bored, and I was changing my methods for years, and I was lost because of that, and it was working. I was growing my business, but I was growing it slowly. So what they taught me was it's worth millions, like millions. The best decision ever in terms of the business to grab Higdon's coaching, because I can't even believe. I can't even believe what's happening. And it's been like that for 1.5 years already.
Yeah, I remember because right after the show, you got this big, brand new, huge check, right?
Yep. Yeah, that was a nice bonus.
Excited about it. I would be too. So, like,
everybody
might get a little dust in my eyes if I got one of those like really big checks, like Happy Gilmore got.
Yeah.
So you make this transition from being a cleaning lady to network marketing. What did your friends and family say? I mean, you've moved, halfway across the world. You're cleaning houses, and now you're doing this thing. What was their reaction?
You know what? At the beginning, when I started network marketing, probably like most of us see that not always the family is okay with your decision. And my family and my friends weren't okay either. It wasn't anything different, So it's about us. It's about what we want. What we see in that,
Yeah.
And what we want to grab from this opportunity. But still, some of my friends are skeptical. It's unbelievable, and they are. And to be honest, many of them have no clue what I have achieved. And no, they have so many of you. They have no clue, even if they
Chicago, see. And now you live in Florida. That should be enough to tell anybody.
Yeah, that's true. But still, so many of them, they don't know. They don't know because they are not involved in network marketing with any company. So many of people, they don't trust the process. They don't believe it. They've never experienced that, right? But on the other side, there is a lot of my friends that are with me, like building the empire.
Sure. So, you've had a lot of success. You went and got your coach. How did you hear about the show, Play to Win Season 2, and why did you apply?
You know what? That's also funny. That's a funny story because that reality show was already the second one, right?
Yeah.
Before we went on the show, there was a first season, right? And so I applied for the first one.
Oh.
I did apply, but I wasn't accepted for the first one. And the funniest part is I applied for the second one because when I noticed how much Higdons are putting into my growth, and how much my life is changing, I wanted to be next to them, any place, anywhere. So any show, I'm going, right? Any training, I'm there. And so I applied for the season 2, and I wasn't accepted. Believe me or not.
I did not know that.
Yeah, they didn't accept my video because it's not like everyone was, had a privilege to be on a show. And but like few days before, I received a phone call or an email that someone I think changed their mind or something happened, and there was one opening if I would like to jump in. Otherwise, we would not know each other.
That is great.
And what did I do? What did I do? Of course, I joined.
Yeah.
And I showed up.
Yeah. So how far of a drive was that for you?
That wasn't far. It was like 1.5 hours, maybe 2.
Oh, so you went home every night?
No. I actually decided to stay there.
I'm just teasing.
Yeah.
I mean, 1.5 you would have, because we were leaving early in the morning. So,
And of course, we were on the bus together every day.
yeah, right.
My goodness.
Bus ride. So, bus ride is a great transition point. So, day one, you guys are all down in the Red Roof Inn cafe. We've got this really long ride to this house that nobody knows, and they bring us in. They line us up, and you're a taller lady, so you were in the back, I believe. And they march us in, and we're looking around the room. What was going through your head?
I was like, oh my God, what did I get myself into? Like, oh my God, all these cameras, people that I don't know, and Ray and Jess and Mary Kate, I didn't know her at all, only from TV or Facebook. I was blown away, to be honest. I didn't know what to do, what to say, if I'm gonna be able to say a thing. And even on the first interview, if I can share it, I got stuck. Like, I couldn't say a word. It was shocking. And what was your experience?
So was there a point where like you switched back to Polish because of the stress?
There was a point, but not at the beginning. But I cannot say much more here. There was a point, because usually I work in Polish. So there was one day when we got to action, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, let's screw it. I'm doing it in Polish.
I remember that. I was like, go for it.
Yeah.
So did you know any of the other competitors, because you have such a long, kind of relationship with the inner circle, and then being a part of Rank Makers for 2 years? Did you know some of the other competitors that were in the room?
I only knew a little bit Eugene.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, I just knew him a bit, but nothing serious. I didn't know him much. I knew, who's Eugene. We chatted a few times, but that's it,
Okay. Now, as you looked around that room and you were freaking out going, oh my God, who were you sizing up as to be your number one competitor? Who'd you think was going to prevent you from winning the show?
Patricia.
Patricia?
Yeah.
She's the personality for sure.
Patricia had that like, I'm gonna kill y'all.
Yes, she did. Right.
That was Patricia. I'm like, oh my goodness, she's so good.
Okay.
Yeah, she was like one of these top people that I was like, that girl has a power. Like, oh my God.
Yeah. So don't give anything away.
Of course.
But what was your favorite moment on the show?
There was plenty of them. Some of them were hard, like rush. No, what's the correct word? Some of them were not pleasant to hear, I would say. Like shocking truth, straight in my eyes in front of cameras. And but one of the favorite part was that I have learned how to come up with an idea to raise for charity.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I was blown away. I totally didn't understand that the challenge completely. I thought I did, but I didn't. But John, you guys are clever, like clever. The ideas you shared. Of course, we're not gonna tell you right now, but watch the show. The show to learn from these guys. The ideas you shared were brilliant, like really good. So whenever there is a situation when we need to raise money today, we know what to do.
Yeah.
That was probably the best part.
It was fun. I think I already know the answer to this next question, but I want to make sure. What was the most nerve-wracking experience for you on the show?
You do know. Yes. Oh my goodness. Since we cannot say much yet about
Well,
the
it was in
show.
the trailer, so you can say this one.
Exactly, but there is a trailer going on. If I try to repeat that face expression, I would not be able to do that right now.
So we have a private Facebook group, and as soon as the trailer dropped, I took a screenshot of Marta's face and posted it in the group because it was the most amazing face I think I've ever seen. And I'll post it in the comments so everybody else can enjoy it.
This is like when I saw that, I'm like, oh, I'm scared to watch what else. That was
Right?
just a 1 second.
When you got home, did your husband know that this was like one of your fears?
I don't think so, because I'm not used to hanging out around snakes. But when I saw that snake there, I was
So what
freaking out.
did he say
Freaking
when
out.
you got home and you told him about that?
What?
What did your husband say when you got home and you told him about it?
Oh, he couldn't believe. He
Yeah.
couldn't believe what's happening. Totally. You know, he wasn't there. He didn't see it, but I couldn't even stop talking about the show for like a month.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and kids were like, "Oh my goodness, we want to see that."
Well, they're going to get to see that. I'm pretty
Oh my goodness, yeah.
So, what do you think for you was the greatest lesson that you learned while being on the show? There were so many great things, but if you could boil it down to the number one takeaway, what would have it been?
Mm-hmm. It's very hard to actually grab everything into number one. It's hard. I would probably start with people that were on a show.
Yeah.
Their stories. When I've listened to their stories, I couldn't believe what people go through in life, and how they overcome challenges and how they get stronger, and how even they show up on a show and share it publicly, like big thing. So I would start with that. I was really impressed with Jessica and Ray, because we see them online, we see them doing lives, but that was different. We were able to touch them, to talk to them, to see how they are, how they react, and they are very successsul. Like, we all want to be like them.
Yeah.
And it was also fun to watch how they are, what's their leadership, how they teach us, what's the strategy they had to not only do their reality show, but to actually teach us at the same time, because that's what happened. It wasn't only recording, remember? It was the training right after or in between. We had two things.
Yeah, they really invested, I felt, a lot into each contestant, whether they continued on or they didn't. And that was probably one of the most impressive things I saw, was their heart to really help even after they were off the show. So, and now show's over. We go back to the normal world. COVID hits. What do you think changed the most for you since the show was over?
I am unstoppable. Like, that show gave me power. I was powerful, but no, that show gave me like power.
Yeah.
John, like, oh my goodness, what I have experienced there and you have experienced, and all these contestants, right? I believe that every one of us gained that power after the show, that I can do so much, I can do much more, and I'm here to help much more people. Like, the unstoppable feeling. That's what I have after the show.
That's good. I like that.
Yeah.
Well, the trailer was just released a couple of days ago. What'd you think, besides the snake portion, as you saw that?
It's like Powerhouse. It's Powerhouse. To be honest, I was like, OMG. You know how it is when we were on the reality show, things were happening quickly, a lot of stress, a lot of moments that you have to be ready right now at this time and speak. and you don't see other people, how they react, how they prepare, what do they do, even contestants, right? So I was like surprised to actually watch the show, but I was really focused on doing everything my best to win the show.
Yeah.
And it will be fun to actually watch what actually happened on the show, behind my back,
Right.
to see what was going on over there.
Yeah.
Because I was, I'm not gonna lie, but I was focused on doing my best, and that was quite challenging to do everything in front of the camera. So you don't focus on everything right around you.
Yeah. So this has been something that's come out through the interview. So now I ask everybody, there is this absolute fear of going into the room with Jessica. Did you feel that way?
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Dude, it is the strangest thing because she is so quiet and so, but man, she's got fire, and everybody just kind of knew that going into the show, I think, except for me, and everybody was like worried to death about her.
Oh yeah. So we know how Ray is, right? We know him a bit from Ring Makers, I know him from coaching session a bit, but we didn't know much of how Jessica is, right?
Yeah.
Ooh, Powerhouse as well. So tough cookie. Yeah, she was tough on us, definitely.
So show releases in just about, what are we at today? 13 days. You nervous?
You know what? I am. I'm like excited, but to be honest, from the other side, I'm like, do I want to see that? It's that show is gonna show a lot.
Yeah.
A lot of how we are and how we think, and so many things that, for example, in my case, I'm not sure if you are the same, but a lot of my weaknesses, to be honest, like a lot of private things, like, and I'm kind of scared to see that, it's like, and that's gonna be public to everyone, like, oh my goodness. So that is kind of a little scary, but at the same time, we know, John, you also know that this will help us kind of get rid of it, and move on with life, and move on and help more people. And so many people have some kind of stops and struggles, inside stories, not pleasant, nothing fun, or horrible even, right? And by showing our stories and how we overcame them, how we share them, we might actually help so many other people to open up and have better life.
For sure. I mean, when you look at, I haven't even interviewed everybody yet, but you look at the stories, Ryan's story, John's story, when you look at Patricia's story, when you look at Amy's story, who's tomorrow night, there's no way that if you actually watched and got to hear these people's story, that you couldn't relate to somebody.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, might not be me, might not be you, but they should relate, because there was just so many powerful stories on the show, and even things that I like took me back. I was like, whoa, like, man, I can't believe that. And I mean, that's definitely a valuable portion to me, is to be able to hear everybody's story, and if you can do it, they can do it.
Yeah, I saw some tears on some of your pictures.
Not mine. That was dumb.
That might have been a flash.
So we had to burn that thing, and some of the ashes came up in my eyes. Not me.
I want to see that totally.
Yeah, like,
but let me ask you a question.
They put that in there.
John, let me ask you a question. How do you feel? Same question to you. How do you feel? Are you afraid a bit?
Not a bit. So
not zero.
Yeah, so I mean, I've had a little bit of media training in my background, right? So when I went into the show, I knew that they could take anything that I said and anything I did and put it anywhere they want. So I was very careful in that regard to make sure that I was saying what I wanted to say. So I was meticulous in my thought process. However, after day one and getting my rear end chewed by Ray and Jessica for several different things, I came back to my own corner, so to speak, and I made a very intentional decision that I wasn't going to hold back. And so when it came to the day when you saw the dust in my eyes, I knew that in order to really leave that show and not have any regrets, that I had to lay it all on the line. And so for me, because I made that internal decision, I'm not worried about it. I'm not scared about it. Like I went and I gave every drop of sweat and blood I could. So I'm happy. And I'm excited. So I'm very excited about the show.
That's very good.
Yeah, it's a little bit different for me.
Oh, everyone is different.
Yeah.
Everyone has different steps. You went through a lot in life as well.
Yeah.
And everyone's story is different, and we are prepared for that differently. Definitely.
Yeah. Last question, and then I'll let you get back to your family.
Uh-huh.
The number one reason why somebody watching our interview today should tune in on September 10th on Ray Higdon's page and watch this show.
Say again. What?
The number one reason why somebody who's watching this interview right now should tune in and watch this show.
Let me think.
Oh, and I do have one more. I'm going to finish it with one more question.
I know. If you, oh my God. If you want to see me being embarrassed, being scared as hell, making the worst faces ever, you gotta be there.
Right.
You gotta see how scared I am of that snake.
Yeah.
You won't believe. That's the reason to watch it.
All right. So the last question is because I know that you have such a large Polish community. Are you doing something with Polish so that your friends and family can watch and they can kind of understand what's happening?
You know what? Most of my Polish community, they speak English, so nothing prepared. But that's a good idea, actually. That's a good idea. And what do you do? And what do you do? How are you gonna celebrate it? How are you gonna watch it?
I don't know. I hadn't really given it much thought.
But now we have a thing to actually think about it.
Yeah.
Because we can actually have fun doing that.
September 10th, baby.
Oh.
Thank you so much for coming on today. I absolutely enjoyed the interview with you. As always, you're a powerful story. And just stick around for a couple more seconds.
Thank you, John. And thank you so much for listening to us. It will be worth to watch the show. Definitely. And guess who's winning?
Yeah, guess who's winning.
And who's going to win?
Yep. All right. We'll talk to you.
Thank you. Thanks. Bye-bye.